Good morning. I'm just checking that chat is working. Yep, the chat is working good. So, I don't expect too many people with me today, but I'm still going to carry on. Hi, Alison. Um, it is probably the hottest day of the year so far, so I'm gonna. I decided that I would pre-sew some of the square bag. So what I've done is I have done one handle, so that's one handle out of the way and done, and I've done half of the other handle, so that's just to finish off, so I can show you what to do. And I have sewn up one of the squares. So grab a coffee, or should I say grab your coffee and your breakfast snack. I've already had mine, it was very nice, and I've sewn up one of the squares. Look at that, doesn't it look so cool? Mind the creases, sorry. I haven't ironed it yet, but we know me and ironing it, they don't really go together, so there we are. This is going to look so cool, this bag. So cool. And I have done these stripes in the opposite direction on purpose, so that is on purpose. But we decided the way that we want it last time in the last show, so this time I've just sewn this one together because I've got it in order of how we were doing it. Look at my middle, I got it perfect as well. Don't know how I did that, probably because it wasn't live. Morning, Lisa. So pretty much because it wasn't live, I got that perfect, absolutely perfect. So on the live one, it's probably not going to match up at all, which is just how it goes, isn't it? So let's get to it. Right. So what we did was we tie-dyed. We had the beautiful tie-dye. And then we Markle paint sticked through stencils and on the rubbing plates. Forgot the word then. And we made 8 panels for this one. And yep, my panels don't match. I didn't put out sizes of the panels that I did. So where's my ruler? Let's see. And I realised when I'd done it, my mistake, because I have done them as squares, but the top one needs to be bigger because the top one is gonna fold over, so it's not going to be squares anymore. It's going to be a bottom square, and then a rectangle. So I didn't think about that when I did it. So you need to make your top squares need to be taller, or all of your squares really need to be more rectangle shaped, and then you cut the bottom ones into squares, if that makes sense. I'm sure I do. But these squares are roughly 26 centimeters. Yeah, these ones are roughly, whoop, hit my camera. These ones are roughly 26 centimeters, so you need to add on a bit more. I suppose I could cut some off the bottom and the sides, but hey ho, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Alright, so now I've got that one, which I'm extremely proud of, because I did it with cats watching as well, and the cats were in the way, and as my sewing was whipping past, they were trying to get it, and it was just like, oh my god, could that really happen today? But it did, but hey ho. So I am very, very proud of that right now. I have got rid of the cats with treats and food, so they have hopefully gone for this hour. Hi Kim! Alright, so let's get into this one. This is the other side of the bag, and we decided it was going to be that, ooh, in my ruler now, it was going to be that one, next to that one, and then it was going to be that one, next to that one. So that's the order we're doing it in. Right, first things first, I need to sew this one to this one. and I'm going to sew this one to this one. So I'll start with these two. Now this really nice brushed Egyptian cotton, oh, that's well off, that's not straight at all. It's been quite a nightmare for shedding, so ideally I should be sewing this on my overlocker, and I should line this bag. So if you use really nice fancy Egyptian cotton bed sheets like I did, please be aware that the nightmare is real, because yeah, overlock it, double stitch it, whatever you think is going to be safe. I'm only going to use this bag for light use. I'm not going to use it for heavy use because it's probably not going to take it, not with the way that I'm sewing it today. All right, so I want that one to that edge, I think. Yes. Now I'm going to line them up as straight as I can get, and I do want two edges that are straight together. So I want the top edge needs to match and the side edge needs to match. The outside edge and the bottom edge doesn't matter at this point. I just need the two, and I've almost done that wrong. Ugh. It's that way, that way, that way, and then that way. Patterns together. So long as you've got two edges that are straight, your bag will work out fine. Because they become the ones that you're sewing together. And the outside edges can be trued up after. But if these don't match and they're all over the place, they won't be able to sew together well when we come to put it and attach it. Does that make sense? Hope it does. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to sew down this edge. You'll see what I mean in a second. Perfect. So this edge is going. Hey Mum, set out in the sun. I'll be joining you in about half an hour. Right, I'm going to move my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So forward stitching, let me go up a bit. Yeah, there we go. So forward stitch it, back stitch it, and then straight down. These little clips are from Wilkinson's, and they are the freezer bag clips. And back stitch again. Take your foot off the pedal once you're pulling it out. Second time I've done that today. So there's the first one, all nicely done. So pattern to pattern. Now these two are quite different sizes to each other. And this is a good example of why you just true up two sides. Because when I cut this one, I had my fabric lined up on top of each other in a big pile and just cut it, because my cutter is really sharp and I shouldn't have done that. I should have cut them out better. So that's me being lazy, I suppose. So let's get in. So forward stitch, back stitch, and I'm no expert at sewing, so if I can do it, you can do it, trust me. Okay. So you'll see, now turn it over, that this one is quite a lot bigger. But this edge and this edge is perfectly true, which is what I want. I've got my bin resting on boxes down here, so let's get these fluffy bits. Oh, thank you, Alison. They are pretty, aren't they? And the tie-dye just really adds to it. Though your tie-dye stuff has been awesome. I've been sharing Alison's tie-dye. She decided after watching my live stream that she wanted to try, and she bought the starter kit. And I think the starter kit is on her sale as well. So she had to go with the starter kit, and she's tie-dyed up a storm, really. Absolutely awesome stuff. Should have a look. I did share it on the main Colourcraft page, so you should be able to find it easy if you want to have a look what she did. Now, this line up here is perfectly lined up, and this line up here is pretty much perfectly lined up, and my other edges are pretty much all a bit out, so I'm going to go for this one. So what I want to do is, this is the tricky bit, I need to make sure that it's the right way around. Right. So this edge and this edge are the ones that need to go here. So I'm going to have to just be really careful, because this edge is a bit higher than that one. So I could have made it much easier for myself, but you know. So pattern to pattern, I'm going to line these up, and I'm just going to zoom in while I line these up. Right, there's my stitch line there, there's my stitch line there. This seam I'm pushing that way, and this seam I'm pushing this way. And I know I'm a few mil out, so I know I need to be a little bit further up. So what I'm going to do is kind of pull a little bit, not so I'm pulling the stitching apart, and I'm going to line that one up with that one. And just go up a little bit. Hold them flat so they're flat together, and then I'm going to take a clip, I'm going to grab it. So if we've done it right, once we come to sew it, this seam goes this way, this seam goes this way, so this seam is going this way. It'll lie flat once we've sewn it. And I know that this, it needs to go a little bit higher, so I'm going to lay it out flat. If you roughly line your seam up all the way down, you'll know that it's going to be straight. That needs to come up a little bit. And lay it flat on top of each other. Oh, zoom out, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Saying these sandwich bag clips are amazing. Now I know that this one goes off a bit that way. You can see it's not straight because my stencil's straight, but that's definitely not straight. So that goes off and it doesn't line up. That's fine. I know it doesn't line up. But it will all line up once we finish sewing. That's the beauty of it. Right, let's have a look. So we're all good, I reckon. I'm going to start on this side because this is the most uneven side. So I'm going to start sewing on this side. And I know when I get to here, where my join is, there it goes. The blue one goes further down than the black one. So I need to just be aware of that. And up here, it goes a bit off. So it's a bit better. But it needs to lie flat and lie straight, so don't worry about it too much. Because once you've done your sewing, it'll all be straight anyway. Okay. Let's get in. So about there. I can see on this side that my grey is about there, so I need to go in a bit more. Perfect. Right, go slow on your seam. Make sure it's front and back. Make sure it's all good. And then I'm going to back stitch and carry on. All right. I got my dungarees on today, so my shoulder keeps flopping down. So this is how we're looking. So we've got two seams down there. We've got the seam down there. And let's open it up and see if we got straight live on camera. Oh, nearly. Nearly. You can barely tell there. Oh, I'll get the threads later. Look at that. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not as good as the other side, but you know, like I said, because it's live on camera, we'll never get it lined up perfect. that is looking beautiful. Oh, sorry. Let's get my wire out of the way. There we go. That is looking absolutely gorgeous. Oh, got peanuts sticking in my throat. All right, let's zoom out. Ooh. Look at that. You can see all the mess around my craft desk now. That's embarrassing. Oh well. So there's number one. And there's number two. So now what we need to do is line these ones up and sew them down here, across here, and up here. So bag shape. I want this one to be opposite. So where there's a zigzag, there's the stencil. I don't want it to be the same as that one. I don't want them connecting together. They can be on the same row, that's fine, but I don't want them being sewn to each other. So what I need to do is that way. That's right. So put your fabric face to face. Hi, Anne-Marie. So the printing is what we did was we cut squares of fabric and we tie-dyed them, and that's a video on its own. So you get the whole process on its own. And then a next video, we put marker paint sticks and did the pattern through stencils, and that's a video on its own, so you can learn that on its own. And then we've got a video on now, which is sewing it together to create a reusable shopping bag. So if you look back on the channel, you will see, and on our YouTube channel, because I put them there, they're all there for everyone. So you don't miss, and you can go back to the specific video that you want rather than having to search through and find the part of the video that you want. So I hope that helps. Right, I'm going to have this like this. So that one's going to be attached to that one. That one's going to be attached to that one. And on the other side, so I need to go down there, across there, up there. Now this is the fun bit of lining it up. We got to line it up the same, but the seams need to match here and here and here as well. So this is probably the most difficult bit of this. So I'm going to do this edge first. So this is going to be the outside edge at the side. And the same way that we just did it then, I am going to push this seam. Let me zoom in. So I'm going to push it so this seam goes this way, and this seam, hang on, I'm going to go the way the seam wants to go. This seam wants to go this way because it's done this way, and this seam is wanting to go this way. Is that right? Yep. Following the seam. So this one goes this way, and this one goes this way. Can you see I'm following it? And I'm going to line it up top and bottom. I'm going to have a little bit of a problem down here. You can see why. Sort that when I get to it. So line that one up with that one. Can you see I'm lining them up? Push the seams in the direction that they need to go. And then peg over the seams. Am I good? Now, I'm checking it all the way around, just lightly. The bags are on top of each other, but they do need to match up. I think we're good. I'm going to lose a bit off the top from here, but that's fine. And I'm going to lose a bit off the bottom, but otherwise we're pretty much right. You're doing it by eye. Don't second guess yourself. If it looks by eye right, once it's made up into a bag, if it's not perfectly right, you'll never notice, because once the bag is used, it gets pushed out. So don't worry about it too much. Just go with your own intuition. See you in a bit, Alison. Have a good day. Woo. So a lot of sewing, it is trusting your own eye and trusting your own gut. You'll know if it's not going to work when you lay it down flat on top of each other. And I mean, I got these squares all different sizes, as we saw, so I'm just pretty much winging how it goes together, and it is going together, and it is going together really beautifully, so don't worry about it too much. So long as your sewing lines are straight, it doesn't matter about your fabric lines. Okay, let's get back in. Whoop. I'm going to do what I did last time and sew it right into my water pot if I'm not careful. Put a bit of light on behind. There we go. Alright, let's get to it. So this edge is pretty much all lined up all the way down, so I don't need to worry too much about it. So forward, backwards, and then forward. Now we've got to the seam bit, so I'm taking my clip off, just double checking that it's lined up. I think so. Make sure my seam, one's going that way and that one's going that way, so they're going right. Then slowly and slowly back, and then we're good. So now we've got that one. Oh, look at that. And that meets up perfect. Yes! Need someone to fist bump because this is turning out perfectly lined up. What's that you say? Not for long? Yeah, not for long. Right. Let me just shake this out. You can't see what I'm doing, but basically, to make sure, let me zoom out again. To make sure that it lines up right, what I'm doing is I'm holding it on either edge, so it's not sewn there. I'm just holding it there, and then I'm just shaking it, so then it'll lay flat. So that's what I mean about intuition. It just lay flat on its own. So don't worry about it. Don't stress. So that's the edge we've just done. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to line up this edge. Now this edge is the one that, this one is too tall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a bit easier for myself on this top bit, because this is going to be the bottom of the bag. So I'm just going to even it up and just trim it. And I need to be careful, very wary here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing from this side. When I sew it, actually no, it's going to be easier to sew from this side because I've got this bit going down here. Change my mind. Right, shake it out again. Make sure we're all good. Now time to line it up. This seam is going this way, and this seam is also going this way. What you could do is you can have them both going the same way, but I'm going to swap them. And I'm going to push this one and force it to go where it doesn't naturally want to go. That's because if I have both seams there, it's going to be too thick. Mainly it's going to be too thick for my little machine. My friend serviced and fixed my other machine, which is exactly the same as this one, on the weekend for me. And he said that his remote control tank that he's building has actually got a stronger motor than my sewing machine, so that kind of puts it into perspective. So I'm going to line it up and get that clip on there. Perfect. This bag is coming together really quickly this time. The long strip bag we did last time, it didn't come together very quickly at all, so that's quite promising. Right, so my bottom seam is there, so I'm starting from the bottom seam. And I know that that bit goes a bit squiffier, so I just need to watch that when I'm sewing. Let's get back down in. Okay, just slid that clip down because I want to keep it clipped longer. And the clips catch on here, so I have to lift them and make sure that they're not in the way when I'm sewing. And I know that's about a good half a finger width in. So I need to start roughly about there. So I'm going to be quite a lot further in. I'm going to have a bit to trim off this bag when I finish it. But that's fine. Just double check I've caught it. Yep. I'm going back stitching across that seam. And yeah, I am taking quite a lot off. I have got a really wide, can you see? My foot ends here, but I'm quite far out. But this bottom seam is quite far out, so I'm giving myself lots of room. Now we've got up to the seam, so I'm just double checking we're still lined up. Yes, we are. Go slow. Over. Once you've cleared the seam at the other side, back. It's really warm, so I've got my windows open, and a load of bikes have just gone on a lovely bike trip, so sorry about that. Okay, so I've got my two workshop sewing machines back in action. This is one, so if you do a workshop with me in person, this is what you'll use. A very unintimidating machine, very unintimidating. It's fabulous. It's a Genome Mini. They don't make it. Oh, they do make. They do still make it. I did. I looked it up. They do still make it. But you can get them on eBay. Okay, so here we go. Third edge. So, now looking at it, as I can see it, this is going to be the long edge. So I'm going to have this as the top because bags. I want a deep bag, not a wide bag. So I'm going to go up this side, I think, for the other seam, and have this as the top. Right. Now here we've got quite a distance, so I am going to be trimming off quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it first and then trim it off. So line it up again, and this seam I can see is going to be out. So a bit of creative sewing and a bit of pulling, and you'll not notice. But like I said, when the bag is actually together, you'll not notice. So this seam wants to go this way. This seam also wants to go the same way. So I'm going to force this back seam to go that way. It wants to go this way. That's the way it should be, but I need it to be opposite. So I'm forcing that one this way, and I'm forcing this one this way, and you can see how it's not meeting. Let me zoom in. There you go. You can see it's a mile off. So I'm going to force it together. And clamp. So this is going to have a little bit of a bub in it, which is fine. I can make that go away just by pushing it down to the bottom. And I'm going to clamp it, and I can just make that disappear as I'm sewing. So that's fine. Right, I need to sew from the bottom up, and be careful how I push this grey bit, because this grey bit, you can see it's going to have a wrinkle in it somewhere. So I need to watch for that. And I'm going to sew from the bottom up, and this one goes quite far in, so I need to start quite far in. I need to be well past them clips. But see what I mean about intuition? You know, you can do it exact, or you can just get some fabric, cut a square and play. My option is always to get some fabric, cut a square and play. There we go. So this is the side that's going to be a bit loose. So I need to just watch that. And I need to be well past that to catch the other bit. So we're about there. Just doing it all by eye. Really don't worry. It's a reusable bag for yourself. Don't panic about it. Here we go. So back stitch. And now it's pushing this fabric this way, which means this seam is not going to be aligned. Maybe get on a bit more. Zoom out a bit. There we go. So what I need to do is force it to just do a little bit of a wrinkly bit here. So if I lift it up, I just pull the top fabric. Can you see? So I'm just now. There we go. So I've lifted my foot up. I'm just taking my top fabric and I'm just pulling it back a bit and put my foot back down. we're good. We're going to line up fine. If it happens again, pull it up. Just pull your fabric back a little bit. Right, double check we're lined up. We are aiming for the right path, because this is where this is much higher than the bottom one. So I'm going to go over the seam, back and we're good. And then I'm catching. Check I'm getting both. Yeah, I am. So let's cut this off and have a look. So it's our 3 sides done. Hi Bev! So we now have effectively a lovely U shape, and that's sewed through fine, seam. I don't think I've got it lined up. We'll find out in a second. Let's turn this baby inside to the right way around and have a look. Could also be a pillowcase, really. Let's push edges. Oh, that looks good. That looks fantastic. So we've got lined up there. We've got lined up on this side. Lined up really well. And on this side, thought it might. It was a hard one. We almost got it perfect. It's not that far out. Not that far out at all. And the bottom one is pretty much perfect. So we have our bag shape done. The shape is done. We've got, this is going to be a really nice bag. A really nice bag. So there's 2 ways that you can do the top, but I'm going to do the handle first. So to save time, because it took so long last time to do the handle, I have pre-done one. So this is one handle. I'm going to do longer handles on this bag than the last bag. So what we did last time was we did a long one, we cut it in half, and then that was the 2 handles. But I'm going to do longer handles this time. So the handle you want to look like this. So I have done this fold over to get this beautiful seam right here. And then what I'm going to do, start in the middle. So folded this line over. I'll zoom in. You can see what I'm doing on the table then. So I fold it over and I've just sewn straight down it. I'm going to fold this one in, and then I'm going to fold this one over to it like that. And I'm doing this one really thin because, as you can see, when I sewed this one I folded it in too far, so my handles are going to be 2 different sizes. But you know, sometimes it happens. And then I'm going to clamp it. Sometimes things just work out that way, don't they? Really, what I should have done was just unpick it and do it again, but you know what? Oh, come on. Life's too short, stuff a mushroom. Got it. I think this side goes off a little bit. I think that's why it's not playing. Yeah, it does. It goes off a little bit, so it's not playing nice. So this handle isn't going to be exactly perfect, but it's fine. I'm happy with that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through the sewing machine and I'm going to sew down here. I'm going to get to the bottom, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to sew up this edge. So I'm basically sewing a big U shape up the two edges. Right, let's get into the sewing machine. Okay. So forward, back. I need to move my foot. There we go. Till I get started, I'm just going to move that one down a bit. There we go, we're good. And so long as it's catching this edge and the outside edge, I'm happy. I think with sewing it's very easy to make things a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Especially when you're just doing basic things like a basic square bag. Okay, so I'm not even cutting off the thread, I'm just turning it around and sewing up the other side. And that'll give you strength to your bag. Well, to your handle. And we're at the end, so back stitch. Alright. So my two handles, they're almost the same size. So not too bad. Not too bad. And all I've got to do now is attach the handles to the top. And we are done. So I'm going to do my trick. I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm going to... there you go. I'm going to grab it like this and I'm just going to shake it. so it lies nice. This is the top. What I like to do the top is same technique as the other one. I put my fingers in the same distance, and then I grab it and I flip it. And in this case, because my top is so uneven, what I'm going to do then is lay it flat and maneuver it. So the top is going to be straight. You'll be able to see if it's not straight. So if you fold your bag up and look, it's pretty straight. The top is pretty straight there. And again, I'm just doing it by eye, so you know, don't worry too much. I'm going to put a couple of clips on. Doing the flip trick really makes it so it flips evenly. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to do the pink handle on this one, and I do want my handles the same length. So make sure that they are the same length. And that one's a little bit longer, so I need to cut that edge off. And then I want them roughly in the center of the bag. Like that. That's roughly the center. Right, so I'm going to sew these ones on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go straight across the top. So I need to put my other side on very carefully. I'm going to line them up in the same spot. Okay, this side needs to come down a little bit more. There we go. So sewing machine back in. Excuse my dirty paint water. Well, it's actually clean paint water. And let's zoom in a little bit and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start on the seam. And do be very careful when you're sewing round that you don't knock your clips off. There we go. Here we go. should put that clip on this side, so I'm just going to hold it in place and adjust it. Clip it. There we go. I'm going to hold it in place. And I'm going to back stitch over it. Carefully spin my bag around a bit. So we've got to the second one, so I'm holding it in place here. And back stitch over. Handle out of the way and spin. So we're onto the handles on the other side now, and they are still held in place. Again, back stitch. My little machine struggles a little bit on the thicker parts. Okay, we're done. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to go around the bottom and make it doubly secure. I'm not running too late today. It's a good job I did all the pre-sewing. So I'm going to do that. So I've left about an inch. Can you see? I've left about an inch here. Back stitch over your handles. And if you wanted to make your bag look prettier, you could line it and overlock it and be fancy, but we're just making a simple bag today. All right, that's it. We are totally done. That was a nice quick one today, wasn't it? I will take the power out of my plug so I don't step on it. And let's zoom out. Ooh, there's my camera. And take a look. So, finished bag. Let's have a look. So we've double stitched over all of the handles. We've got a beautiful line at the top. I like to put my fingers right into the corners. I'll trim all this off so it looks prettier, but I'm not doing that live on camera because you don't want to watch all that. Obviously you will tidy it up and make it look much prettier at home. But we have gone over his hour now, so I don't want to be too much longer. Ta-da! How cool is that? One bag done. Oh, I've got all my cotton bits to cut off. So I'll take this outside and I'll take it to my mum to have a good nosy at, and we'll do some pictures and let you all see on the Instagrams what our final bag looks like. Awesome, that's one side and completely different. There we have the other. It's a really big bag actually. The final dimensions, let's see. So we've come out at 45 centimeters wide and almost 48 centimeters long. So that's really nice size bag, really nice size bag, and good size handles that you can fit over your arm. Yep. Can you? You're not gonna be able to see me, but yeah, you can fit it over your arm. Okay. So you can get that over your shoulder. The handle length came out. Let's see. The handle length came out 48 centimeters too. So you've got really, really good handle length on them. Really good. It would make a really nice cushion cover, Kim. That is exactly, I was just thinking that, or a pillowcase. It'd make a really good pillowcase. Might be a bit lumpy for a pillowcase, but definitely a cushion, something like that. So tomorrow I will be back here 11 o'clock and we are doing some amazing transfer dye techniques. We will be doing beautiful things like this, which I was talking with one of our design team ladies, Tamara, and she suggested make it, because I said I don't know what to make them into. I make all these beautiful things out of poly satin and I don't know what to make them into once I've done them, and she suggested lavender bags. And then I thought, hang on a minute, what about rosemary bags? Because if you put dried rosemary and cloves and thyme in a bag, it's an anti, put it in with your clothes, it's a moth repellent apparently. So we might turn these into some lavender bags or some moth repellent bags because they're pretty, and yeah, just because we can. So I will be back tomorrow at 11 AM here doing transfer dye, showing you how to do transfer dye. And today is this afternoon at 2 o'clock we've got Clare Crafty Roo, and she will be streaming here on Facebook in her group, the Crafty Roos, and I believe she'll be using some brochure. I might be wrong, but probably right, because she uses brochure pretty much all the time. Don't you, Kim? So you can find Kim at Crafty Roo, 2 o'clock, and then tonight it's Sewing Bee at 9. So tonight at 9, don't forget Sewing Bee because it's Wednesday. And I will see you all either in Kim's chat while she's streaming this afternoon. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow at 11. And don't forget, Kim also does Brush Show Thursday, so it will be Brush Show. If you are looking for your crafty card maker, scrapbooky, mixed media fix, then you will get that with Kim this afternoon and tomorrow as well, because it's Brush Show Thursday. So Brush Show Thursday, we like Brush Show Thursdays. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for spending the hottest day of the year so far, an hour of your time with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.